We're back, friends. We're back for day 17 of Earthborne Rangers. I just need to check once again. It is day 17, Earthborne Rangers. Getting close to the finish line, I think, probably. Maybe not, but we're currently in the Marsh of Rebirth, about to hunt down Ale the Shaper, who can hopefully help us with this mission that we have, which is remove the Reclaimers. Let's go over to this shot. I better shuffle this on stream, even though I've just been shuffling it for the last 5 minutes. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our starting day. I love that. Love that. Couple of eagle eyes. I might actually keep those because we are looking for Ale the Shaper. So we will do both of those. And we'll trash those two. We're going to vault it. Ah, look at this. What a great start. Plenty of awareness to spend. It is raining in the Marsh of Rebirth, so not ideal. Let's read this. It says, use the swamp terrain, search the deck for the next Hydra Worm and put it into play. Let's find a Hydra Worm. There's one. Great. I've shuffled this. Haven't touched it since yesterday, but there we go. Boom. Section number 9. Let's read section number 9. The Marsh of Rebirth. It's the heart of the swamplands. Alrighty. So that's there. If we go and have a look at our day tracker, you can see that we have a little note, 94.9. Let's go read 94.9. It's a mission timer, and it is read if you've completed the Cassende rescue mission. Zek sails at the edge of the camp on his stilt horse. When he sees you, he tosses a bundle to you. Glad to hand that off. Cassende says thanks. You unwrap the oiled paper to find it full of greasy Hydra worm jerky. The smell is pungent, but you're pretty sure she meant it as a sincere gift. How interesting that the dude on the stilt horse would ride all the way into the Marsh of Rebirth while we're being assaulted by a Hydra worm to give us a piece of Hydra worm jerky. It's an interesting decision, my friend. We will gain 1 additional green aspect this round. To start the day, we'll draw a card. It's an overgrown reactor. Cool, what is that? Activate the rumbling dynamo to add harm to each feature in being in play for every 2 effort. Huh. There is a lot of bad stuff in this deck. But it's not an obstacle, it is a flora actually. What I need is my spell. Alright, so we're going to play Cordo's Instinct for 2, 1, 2, which allows us to search the bottom, or search the path deck for a card, and put it on the top or bottom of the deck. We'll put Ale, the Ambitious Shaper, on top of the deck. Then we'll play Eagle Eye for 1. We'll have a look at the next 3 and we'll make them as inoffensive as possible. That's going on the bottom. That can stay on the top. Done. And we draw Ale, the Shaper. There he is. He's friendly. Let's read his story. So, use section 119 for Ale, Ambitious Shaper in the Marsh of Rebirth. You've been slogging through the marsh for hours when you notice that the sky above has grown steadily greyer and a soft rain begins to fall. It may be a coincidence, but you feel the shaper you've been searching for, Ale, must be close. Then you see him perched atop a log protruding out of the water, conduit in hand, eyes fixed on the clouds. I came to this swamp to be alone, you know, he says to the sky. These Hydra worms don't mind getting wet, unlike some people. We choose snap at him or inspire him. We'll inspire him, I think. Inspire Ale. Walk over to him, put your hand on his shoulder and tell him the mistakes of the past need not define the future. Ale straightens then stands. His eyes shine with tears as he reaches out and clasps your hand. Thank you, he says. You're right. This is my chance to make a difference. I won't let you down. What do you need me to do? His eyes widen when you tell him that you need him to flood the valley again. We'll write Inspired Ale. All right. So, 119A. It can be done, he says, but I'll need an awful lot of moisture to make it happen. That's where I went wrong the first time around. I mistakenly drew upon the waters of the White Sky Lake instead of drawing of those in the clouds. You tell him the ancestors are smiling on him. The reclaimers are nesting in the alluvial ruins in the Silverfin River. Wonderful. Those ruins are a confluence of all the waterways in the valley. There should be water enough to summon a tempest. I'll need a more powerful conduit to focus my power, he says, and I know where I can find one. I'll retrieve it and meet you at the ruins. In the heart of those ruins is a tower. You can't miss it. I'll meet you there tomorrow. Don't keep me waiting. Complete the Lost Brother and gain the Journey Alluvial Ruins mission. Each ranger soothes to fatigue. If you're on worm food, complete that mission as you settle on this approach to resolving the Reclaimer threat. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to travel around and do the other way, but fair enough. Good. So now we just got to get out of here. Let's get out of here. All right, we'll play our sketchbook, which has 2 sketches. We'll play Quizzy's favourite snack. And we will, it's got 2 food on it. We're going to exhaust the sketchbook to exhaust a path card with presents 2. 1, 2. So we'll exhaust the Hydra Worm. And then we are going to attempt to traverse the location for 1, 2, 3. Four. That's excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4. We suffer 2 fatigue from this overgrown reactor, but that's okay. Mountains, if there is an active Hydra Worm, it is not. Add 1 token to the weather. Ale. Making it rain. That's quite funny today. We will remember our Ranger training, I think. So we draw 2 cards, we add another token to the weather. So we're at 6 now, it's not good. And we can draw 2 cards. Which one do we want to take? I think we'll take the Hawk into hand. Keep the Vaulting Rod on top. We might as well connect with Ale. We don't get any effort, we discard 1. And we suffer a fatigue. Probably not the best of plays, but we know what the fatigue card is. We'll rest. We get 1, 2, 3 awareness. We know this sun exhausts. We draw a card, it's Throng of Life. We draw this card, we know it's the Heart of the Swamp. Imagine life as a Hydra Worm to intuit the location of their lair and add progress equal to your effort. Great. So we will do an awareness check and spend all 3 awareness to do a sketch of the Hydra Worm. So we successfully sketch there is not another Hydra Worm. We add another token to the weather, add 1 harm to this feature. So we're back up to 6 on the weather, 1 on this. We'll then exhaust the sketchbook to exhaust the Hydra Worm. Wonder if that was the most efficient way to do that. Probably not. Could have just avoided the Hydra Worm. That lets you exhaust a path card, which is its real advantage. We'll traverse the location we've got Throng of Life in hand, so we don't need to pressure it. We successfully traverse. If there is a water feature within... sorry, I should use my Quizzy's favourite snack. If there is a water feature within reach, there is not. They feel a jolt. No, there is not. So that one doesn't have it. If there's an active predator, there is not. So we successfully clear the location. There's no obstacles preventing us from travelling. So we can travel. We might as well have a lash at trying to clear Ale the Ambitious Shaper. We don't have any harm on our thing. We'll use one of our snacks to draw 2 cards into hand from... Ooh, Touch of the Verdessa is very nice. Yep, and we'll connect with Ale. So we successfully connect nothing and nothing, but we only get 2 progress on him. We can use Touch of the Verdessa to clear him, but I think we will just travel. We'll remember our Ranger training. We get a Glint. We draw 2 cards. We'll draw a Reclaimer Mucus into hand. The Skywhip will go to here because we fatigued from the weather. There is not an odd number of progress on this card, and that's it. So we'll end our day. We'll travel away from here. So we need to get to the Alluvial Ruins. So we'll, from the Marsh of Rebirth, you can travel to any location connected to a swamp path. So we will go the Frowning Gate. Great, so all of this comes back. We draw a card, and this goes away, this goes away. The Roiling, get out of here, guy. So we keep this Swamp Deck. It's a non-pivotal location, and it is a Reclaimer Seeker and the Reclaimer Polyp that gets added to the Path deck, because this is definitely a ruin, I believe. Let's have a look. The Gate. No, it's not. How good's that? We will need these cards. Just 32. 1, 2, 3. Boom. 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 Don't need that. Oh, Ben Armand's there. Don't need that. I love when Ben Armand's there. What a top bloke he is. Just flying around in his jet. Alright, so that is there. 32 at the Ruined Gate. The Frowning Gate, I should say. Cassende Expert Hunter is in play. Nope. Great. So the forest is thick and luscious around us. Lead Ranger draws a path card. Boom. It's the Heart of the Swamp. Very nice. 9.1. Pretty sure there's nothing of stuff there. Yep, we found a path. And then, oh, it's a Hydra Worm. Comes in when we draw our card. There's no Flora, so we can't use that. We just want to travel to the Alluvial Ruins, I think. So we'll probably just... We'll exhaust Quizzy's favourite snack. So bring these 2 back into hand. We've got a Sky Whip, so we could whip the Hydra Worm out of here. We could attach a Reclaimer Mucus to it. Let's bring our Hawk into play for 2. Let's play the Reclaimer Mucus. We can't avoid that dude now. Do we actually want to play the Reclaimer Mucus? Yeah. We'll traverse the location using Light as a Feather, Touch of the Vedessa, Seen Through Cycles. So that's a total of 6, so this can't fail. It's Sunlight, we suffer a fatigue. That goes away, nothing happens there. These will go into hand. We'll exhaust our roll to bring Light as a Feather back into hand. We can travel, there's no obstacles preventing us. We shall do so. We didn't suffer any fatigue because we put the Reclaimer Mucus in play. Alluvial Ruins. What was the mission? What was the mission that we had to get? Journey Alluvial Ruins. That's right. Hoorah. Okay. So if we have a look here, you can see that we're travelling via the ravine and into that. So non-pivotal, 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, we got quiet. Oh, an old bloody clicker. Got to do something about those guys. Alright, Alluvial Ruins. Journey to the Alluvial Ruins. So we'll go read section 36. Alright, so Alluvial Ruins. We're shuffled. We draw a card to end our day. Throng of Life. We draw a card from the Detritus deck. Oh, I forgot about that. So what's the Detritus deck again? Grasslands, Lakeshore, and Old Growth. Grasslands, Lakeshore, Old Growth. I know I spoke about this earlier in my playthrough. It really makes a difference having nice sleeves for a game like this when you're shuffling, and I know that's very much against the ethos of this game, which is the protection and conservation of the planet. So you make your own choices, I have to say. But yes, I'm all about it. Alrighty, there is our Detritus deck, which will go here. That is our Path deck. I did need to add these two, the Polyp and the Seeker. It has been 2 days since we got Invasion Step 2. Done. Lead Ranger, draw 1 card from the Detritus deck. It's a Kleptic Raccoon. Fun. And then we draw a card to start our day. Boom. It's Old Bloody Clicker. That's not great. But we have some tools in hand. Yes we do. Okay, we've completed our journey mission to the Alluvial Ruins. You climb to the top of the ruined tower Ale described, careful to avoid the reclaimers nesting throughout the ruins. You see Ale sitting in a small, well-concealed shelter. He beckons you over. I made good time on my errand, he says, patting a cloth-wrapped conduit lying next to him. I'm glad you did the same. He leans close. You weren't kidding. There are so many reclaimers here. Ale leads you to the edge of the tower and you look down into the vast pit teeming with reclaimers consuming the heart of the ruins. This is going to be dangerous, Ale says, and you agree. Do you want to rest before we begin? We only have 1 shot at this. No. There is no time to waste. All right. You lock eyes with Ale and nod to each other. He carefully unwraps what appears to be a long wooden cylinder woven through with a delicate copper wire. He picks it up and makes a hissing sound like a far-off deluge. The hairs on your arms start to rise as he begins to channel through the conduit, and you feel the humidity rise and the wind pick up. Position yourself upstream, he says. It may take hours for the flooding to begin. Once it does, you're going to need to direct the flow of water for maximum effort. Otherwise, this whole place may be washed away, or we may not hit the nest at all. Ale adjusts his hat and flashes a confident smile. Just let me know if you need assistance, and keep those reclaimers off me. With that, he raises his conduit and the skies instantly darken. Clear Ale with progress to move a flood card. Complete the Journey Alluvial Ruins and gain the Washed Away mission. Washed away, washed away, washed away. Washed away, washed away, washed away. Where is washed away? Am I missing a mission from somewhere? Have I done a bad job of putting things away? I have done a bad job at putting some things away. I'll go find this, stand by. All right, I found it. Washed away. When a reclaimer is discarded by a flood, do not suffer fatigue. Instead, add 1 progress to this card. Have 2 or more progress on this card. If Ale is active, he summons a torrent of water. Add 1 float token. If there are no active reclaimers, search the path deck for the next reclaimer and put it into play. All right, so we've got some options here. What we really need is a flora. Okay, we're going to start by exhausting our roll. And we're going to bring Scene Through Cycles back into hand. We're going to play Scene Through Cycles at a cost of 2 spirit and this conduit to remove Old Bloody Clicker and bring this Reclaimer Seeker into hand. It's not ideal, I know, or into play. So it ambushes us for 2. Suboptimal. 1, 2. However, we can summon, add 1 flood card to a token of your choice. Let me just go read this again. Finally, search the general set for 1 flood and put it into play. Very good. Couple of floods. All right, so what do? We put 1 flood card into play with this Kleptic Raccoon, I guess. And what does this say? When a Reclaimer is discarded by a flood, do not suffer fatigue. Instead, add 1 progress to this card. All right, so what we can do at this point is Sky Whip. We probably want to connect with the Kleptic Raccoon. So let's connect with the Kleptic, we can't, we don't have any spirit. Damn it. Do we play Eagle Eye? Yeah, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to avoid the Reclaimer Seeker, I think. So we're going to avoid the Reclaimer Seeker, spending that. So we successfully avoid the Reclaimer Seeker. First of all, he's avoided. So now we add 1 token to the weather. If Ale is active, add 1 flood token to a card of your choice. Great. we now know what we can do. If there are no active reclaimers, no, add a token to the weather. If there is an active predator, exhaust it. There is not an active predator. At this point, I think we probably just traverse the location. So, or do we sky whip? I think we sky whip. So we'll sky whip and discard 3 for a total of 4 on the reclaimer. So that's a 5. So we clear the reclaimer, which is great, which adds 1 progress token to this. When a reclaimer is discarded by a flood, do not suffer fatigue. So the flood goes away. However, we then trigger, if Ale is active, add a flood token to a card of your choice. We'll add it to our Sparrowhawk, and there's not an active predator. Okay. So that is the end of everything I want to do this turn. So I think we're going to rest. We draw a card. It's a skittish Opalon. Oh, sorry. Our Sparrowhawk will actually attack the Kleptic Raccoon before we die, before we proceed. We draw a card. Good. So now we're going to exhaust our roll to bring Seen Through Cycles back in hand. We're going to play Seen Through Cycles. We're going to remove the skittish Opalon. We're going to put the Reclaimer Seeker into play. The Sparrowhawk is going to attack the Kleptic Raccoon and clear it, which goes into the Detritus deck discard, which means the flood attacks to there. However, when this card, move that card. Okay. So all we've got to do now is find a way to clear that Reclaimer Seeker, and we have successfully achieved our mission. However, we couldn't do that because we have no glints. Damn, that was such a good plan. All right, well, the skittish Opalon has a flood. We need to get some glints, I guess. We'll spend 1 to remember our Ranger training. So we get 2 cards, 1, 2. We'll put Sky Whip there. That is if you have 3 or more fatigue, exhaust this being. No, we'll do this one. If there's an active predator, exhaust it. Add harm to this presence. So Ale gets 1 harm. We'll attempt to connect with the skittish Opalon, I guess. No, we'll just traverse the location and we'll use our Strider. So we successfully traverse the location. There's another mountain. Place the top card of the Detritus deck on top of the path deck. Done. Add a token to the weather. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's a raining man. Hey, hey. We'll do an awareness check to sketch the skittish Opalon. We get the glint. All right. So we fail to sketch the skittish Opalon. Sunlight triggers, we suffer a fatigue. There's no other sunlight triggers. There are no active reclaimers. No, that was the one. Okay. So we've got the glint. I think we'll rest. We'll bring this back. The Sparrowhawk comes in play. We draw the top card here. We have 4 progress on the location, and we draw the top card of this, which is a tributary stream. Oh, we can soak our feet in it. That seems nice. We will exhaust our roll to draw a card back into hand, and it will be... Do we have a... No. So the options we've got are Throng of Life, Sky Whip. We've already got a Sky Whip in hand. Throng of Life, Touch of the Verdessa. So I think we'll bring Touch of the Verdessa back into hand. What I'd really like is to get a Reclaimer Seeker without needing to use a thing, so I can Sky Whip. So if we go here and soak our feet, we soothe fatigue equal to our effort. So we definitely want to do that, I think. We don't have any hearts though. Will fatigue us for 1. So yeah, let's use our sketchbook to do, we'll try and draw a sketch again. And we might discard nothing, we just want to get 1. We get 1. There's an active predator, exhaust it, Ale goes to here. And if there are no active reclaimers, search the path deck and discard for the next reclaimer and put it into play. So that's good. Riri the Sparrowhawk will go next. She'll put a damage onto this Reclaimer Seeker. Then we'll clear her, remove her at any time, which will then move this Flood over here to attach it to there. We'll Sky Whip, spending 1, 2, 3, 4. And our glint, as long as we don't see a -2, we succeed. We don't see a -2, we clear the Reclaimer Seeker and our second Flood, which means we've successfully completed the Washed Away mission. So we have 2 or more, so we go to 123. With a grinding roar, the Flood bursts through the ruins. A torrent of water over 5 meters high erupts into the Reclaimer nest and carries the grubs, polyps and seekers away in a churning froth. For several minutes you watch as hundreds of Reclaimers struggle against the rushing water being carried down the river. Eventually, the skies begin to clear and the floods begin to subside. You head over to Ale, who is leaning on his conduit. You can see he's exhausted, and portions of the conduit have burned out, leaving black scorch marks. He smiles at you, a warm and genuine expression of profound satisfaction. "We did it," he sighs. "We really did it." Tears fill his eyes, and he tries unsuccessfully to wipe them away. Complete the Washed Away and the Invasion missions. Write Reclaimers Washed Away and Ale redeemed on the campaign tracker. Each ranger soothes 2 fatigue. 2 fatigue. Boom, boom. A few hours later, the Swift comes gliding in over the trees, carrying a full complement of rangers. You reach the bank of the Silverfin just as it lands, and Carl Ivor emerges from the hatch. "Well done," he says. "I've never been happier to lose a bet to Calypso." He laughs and claps you on the back. "Well done indeed." After some discussion, you decide that Carl should take Ale, who is clearly drained and exhausted, to Spire, aboard the Swift. There he can rest and be with his sister Dace. You'll head to Lone Tree Station, where Elder Thrush will want a full report. Return all Reclaimers in play to the general set, return all Flood cards to the general set, and return Ale to the collection. Gain the Lone Tree Journey set card thing. Okay, good work everyone. We did it. So we just have to get to Lone Tree Station from the alluvial ruins. Don't want to go through the marsh, So let's travel up all around the side. I don't think we've been to Ancestors Grove, so let's go that way. We're going to try and get to the archaeological outpost. Our first thing we need to do is go to this tributary stream. It requires us to send our ranger token there. We succeed, we suffer a fatigue. However, that's from this. However, we soak and we recover 3 thanks to our effort, which is nice. That then clears the tributary station and we will then travel away. So good work, team. Over to the archaeological outpost. We did it, we washed away the reclaimers. I feel very good about that. We'll draw a card. We have 5 in hand. This comes here. I'll go set it all up. Okay, so we are traveling from the alluvial ruins to the archaeological outpost, which is a mountains. One of the 3 has to be the archaeology sinkhole. We have 2 more. Good, we know the story of the archaeology outpost. The first feature is the archaeology sinkhole, that's nice. That's there. And the next path card we draw is a shale scree. So that is an obstacle, 2 obstacles along the way, or 1 obstacle. Plenty of effort available to us. We don't have any cards that we want to cycle into our deck, so we can just fatigue out here. There's no real downside to it. We will exhaust our roll to bring one of our manifestations back into hand. I think Touch of the Videssa is the correct play. We will use 3 awareness and a light as a feather for a total of 5 to scramble up this. We get a glint. We actually fail. Well, not fail. We successfully scrambled up there. We suffer a fatigue from that. It's add 3 progress to this feature for every 2 effort. We had, we had 5. So yeah, we had 6. So we did clear that. So that's fine. That shuffles. I think we'll just take 2 fatigue, traverse the location, which is using Strider. We succeed. We can travel because there's no obstacle. So we'll travel to the Concord and Ziggurats, and that is where we will end our day. Welcome back, friends. It's BigDenoPlays, Earthborne Rangers. It's day 18 in the wonderful Earthborne Rangers campaign, and we find ourselves making our way back to Lone Tree Station after we wiped the alluvial ruins clear of reclaimers with the help of the Shaper Ale. I like to think that as Shapers ourselves, we also had a little bit to do with that, you know, just using our magic spells and all sorts of things. But anyway, let's go down here. We have a new weather pattern. If we have a look at our tracker, you can see we're on howling winds now, which is 18, day 18. And so that means we add the Cerberus and the Cyclone. We are traveling to the Concord and Ziggurats, which is the grassland set. And then we have to add 3 of these because it is a non-pivotal location. So we'll prepare this deck, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll set ourselves up for the day with our starting deck. I feel like that was probably the big storyline, the main quest that we just achieved. So felt good. Certainly, I think the difficulty level of this game is quite variable based on the number of players. There would be some things that are much easier to do with lower player counts, like for example, a lot of connecting with people is much easier to do. Generally, you can do it in one connect test. However, certain missions require a pretty specific tool set, and without that tool set, it could be a very challenging prospect. Now, I'm pretty fortunate in that I've found myself with a deck that works, I would say, extremely well. Keep those ones and that one, and we'll clear 1, 2, 3. With a lot of multifaceted ways of clearing things, you know, being a traveller means I've got a lot of ways of traversing locations. Being a shaper means I've got quite a few tools for dealing with different situations. So we've been quite fortunate in that front. So lead ranger, search the path deck for the next obstacle and put it into play. That is a feature, that is a being, that is a being, that is a obstacle. It is the harvester anthill. And then the starting of our day, we draw a path card and is a morning route. At the Concord and Ziggurats, we need to have our ranger token on that location. We do need to traverse this obstacle. We have no easy way of doing that at the moment, but we'll bring Sill's sketchbook into hand. Oh, actually we do have an easy way of doing that. We will exhaust Sill's sketchbook to exhaust this harvester anthill, and then we will use our remaining awareness and this touch of the Verdessa to avoid the unnerving energy emitting. No, first thing we'll do is we'll actually traverse the location for 2, which gets us another glint. It's a lovely start to the day. There's 2 progress. This gets shuffled back in. There's none of those icons. And then we will do an avoid 3 check using our touch of the Verdessa, and that for a total of 3, and we'll commit these. 4, 5, we successfully move our ranger token to the concordant Ziggurats. We'll exhaust our roll to bring the touch of the Verdessa back into hand. We'll travel and end our day. I want to get to Lone Tree Station. I want to hang out with my friends. It's been a while since we saw them. Concord and Ziggurats up the ravine path to the plummets. Maybe we'll go for another fly. Let's just do that while we're here. Old bloody Clicker, I've seen enough of him. There'll be a Cerberus Cyclone. Ranger Cache, I'd like that. And it was a ravine path, which is this one. Non-pivotal location. One, 2, 3. Again, that first turn there was just a really good demonstration of how many tool sets I have available to me. So the next location we're at is the plummets. I didn't draw a card at the end of my day. Perfect. This actually needs to go in here. Done. Refresh, so nothing happened there. All right. So we'll just go read section 19. Nope, not that one. This one. The plummets. Dace Ambitious Shaper is not in play. It is visible from miles away. We can zip using a spider line. Oh, we're going to be able to spider line to Lone Tree Station. How good's that? I forgot about that. All right, lead ranger, draw a path card. It's a fraying rope bridge. And then we'll flip this. And we will go another one which is some nicked-a-bats. Okay, so this fraying rope bridge is not an obstacle. So the sketchbook is just so useful, really, isn't it? If we avoid the bats and then, or do we just go ham on the location? No, we don't go ham on the location yet. Yep. So we'll just avoid. There's no flora in play. We can just sky whip the bats out of here. Yeah, at this point I think we'll just sky whip the bats. We'll just spend the 3 awareness. We need a not -2. There's a +1, so we successfully sky whip the bats out of the way. That's lovely. Let's remember our ranger training. So we draw 1 card. It's the Sparrowhawk. We'll bring her into hand. We will attempt to brave the rope bridge, spending our 2 spirit and that. So we successfully braved the rope bridge. We've moved our ranger token there, which means we've crossed it. That goes away. This comes here. We'll exhaust our roll to bring that into hand. And then we will attempt to traverse the location. I think we'll use the vaulting rod and that and that. It's a 0, which is a glint. It puts 4 progress on the location. This gets shuffled. We will rest. Draw a card. Ren Kobo. G'day, mate. Want to do some trading? You want to join us on our travel over to Lone Tree Station, Ren? Oh, yes. Yes, I do. We'll exhaust our roll to bring touch of the Verdessa back into hand. We'll spend 2 awareness to bring our Sparrowhawk in. And then we will spend our 2 fitness and our touch of the Verdessa to we'll just spend our 2 fitness. So we successfully traversed the 5th on the location. There is none of those. Then we're going to try and brace ourselves. No, we'll remember our ranger training. We fail and we draw a carbon forged trowel into hand. We'll attempt to move our ranger token to the location, bracing ourselves for a ride on the spider line. Yeah, we brace ourselves for a ride successfully. We're leaving and we're travelling straight to Lone Tree Station on the spider line. Yeah, so good. End our day. We draw one of these. It's another sky whip. That's actually one of these. Ren Kobo comes with us. What a top bloke. Sparrowhawk comes with us. If we go and have a look over here, we're on the plummets. We can travel up to 2 spaces away. Use the terrain of the second pass. So we're going to use Old Growth and Lone Tree Station. So let's go. All right, Old Growth, Cerberusian Cyclone, and the Lone Tree Station set will all come together in a wondrous cacophony of interesting things that we can interact with at the beautiful Lone Tree Station. Our home. Home, home on the range. We still have not visited Ancestors Grove. It is one of the only locations we haven't been to, but here is Lone Tree Station. All right. Search the path deck for the next predator and discard it. But before we do that, we have completed our journey to Lone Tree Station, which is a mission. Journey to Lone Tree, 132. You stagger into the cooling shade of Lone Tree's branches and collapse, sure you'll never hike another mile again. You close your eyes, thankful for the shade, and rest. After a few minutes, you feel someone press a cold flask into your hand. Without looking, you take a welcome swig of the icy water and as it soothes your parched throat, you open your eyes to see Elder Thrush standing over you. She nods solemnly. Welcome back, she says. It's good to see you. You look around and realise you must have fallen asleep. Scores, maybe even hundreds of people are gathering around Lone Tree Station, and even as you watch, the Swift banks high overhead and comes into dock at the mast atop the station. Thrush follows your gaze. People are coming in from all over the valley. Everyone has the same report. The reclaimers are gone, and even as we speak, those that aren't being hunted by villager and ranger alike. She looks back at you, and you see a small smile crack her normally imperceptible features. The valley is safe. Read the text following each entry that you have in the campaign tracker. Reclaimers washed away. The silverfin will run heavy and thick with silt for days to come, but the important thing is that the reclaimers seem to have been flushed from their nests in the alluvial ruins, their corpses swept over the tumbledown falls and into the Vedessa, their nest destroyed and the rest being hunted. There seems no way the reclaimers can mass to such threatening numbers again. Ale redeemed. You turn to see Ale descending from the topside mast, Conduit floating beside him, hat as resplendent as ever. At his side you see his sister Dace, smiling with unmistakable pride. Ale raises a mug to you and you do the same. For a moment a small storm cloud appears over your drink and then it quickly evaporates. We don't have reclaimers consumed. Cassende, no, neither of those. Spire fallen, nope. Stood up to Cal, no. Impressed Calypsa. You see Calypsa pushing her way through the milling crowds. She reaches you and clasps your hands. Back when you first donned the cloak, I knew you showed real promise. She smiles, and you look together upon the gathering. There'll be more challenges ahead. This is just the beginning. That evening, you all sit down to a hearty feast, prepared by none other than High Pimpot. In this moment, there is no tragedy, no fear, no problems. In this moment, there is only you, your friends, your neighbours, sharing food and drink together, enjoying the bounty of life. Tomorrow is another day, but until it comes, you know you can ignore it. There will always be work to be done. There will always be people in need. But in this moment, you can relax, knowing that you fulfilled your oath to the valley and its people. Your ancestors smiled upon you, and in this moment, you are content. The story of the Reclaimers is complete. Continue playing to discover all that you may have missed. Gain the Valley's Secrets mission. Ooh. The Valley's Secrets. When each of these following entries are written on your campaign tracker, go to 133. Okay, so we've witnessed a masterpiece. We've celebrated the Harvest Festival. We've seen a person fly. We've proved Solario's hypothesis. We've found a perfect fishing spot. And we've met an interloper. But the other ones, cool, we haven't done any of those. So these are all things that you can do. Nice. That's it. Earthborne Rangers. I don't think I'm going to continue exploring for the moment because I think at some point in the next little while I will replay the mission and I'd like to have some new things to try. But I really appreciated all of the aspects of that game. There's a lot of different things that you get to do during the game. The core framework is very straightforward, which I appreciated. But then the card interaction creates for some interesting challenges. I really enjoyed the upgrades to the deck. You know, Quizzy's favourite snack was just a straight upgrade to trail mix. Cheaper, more effective. You know, a lot of cool additions, but it didn't ever feel like my character changed dramatically with what he was capable of doing. Just added some different things. So, yeah, really big fan of this game. I've obviously got the expansions and stuff coming in the mail towards the end of the year when that happens. But yeah, that's a really satisfying experience. What do we finish it in 18 days? Yeah, 18 days. Not bad. What would I do differently? I definitely feel like very early on, I just was going very hard, you know, mission focus, which is a problem I've had for a long time. Just always mission focused. And Shepherd, and I think the game itself is very much more a game about slowing down and enjoying things. I mean, as you can see, we finished the game in what is 18 game days. We had 12 more days that we could have just meandered around and explored the world and done some more stuff. But I think oh, that's a traveller card. I think the second playthrough will be more enjoyable when I can, yeah, just take my time and experience that. So, travellers, personalities, travellers, personalities, shape a traveller. That is it, friends. What a great time. I hope you enjoyed it. It certainly was a lot of fun. I know I made a couple of mistakes early on. There's a lot of little, moving parts to a game like this, which you learn the intricacies as you go along. I know by the end of the campaign, I was absolutely much more across all of the little things that happen. So, but yeah, I'm very happy with my purchase of this game. It was an expensive purchase. I did buy it in the aftermarket situation, which proved to be quite expensive, but but I feel very satisfied with that. So hopefully you'll be able to access this. It is currently still on GameFound. If you want to sign up and get a copy, you can still do that. So I'd recommend it. I'd really love to play this with the 2 players. I think it would be fantastic at 2 players, combining abilities, working together. I think that'd be where the game really shines. Solo was super enjoyable, but as I sort of talked about, I think it was at the end of the last episode, having just one player makes some missions really, really straightforward and easy, and then some other missions, almost impossible unless you've got the right tool set. So you do need a very flexible character to be able to handle those various rules, abilities, things. So yeah, having a second player would, although increase the challenge involved in finishing some of those things, I think it would also, make the game feel a little fuller and a little more rounded in terms of the experience. But that is it. Tremendous. BigDenoPlays Earthborne Rangers. I appreciate all of you. We're going to start up some Hoplomachus Victorum next, so I'll look forward to sharing that experience with you all. That's it. Catch you on the next series. BigDeno out.